皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So today I like to share with you guys a short episode of something that we experienced quite recently. If you've been watching our videos in our main channel or maybe coming to my morning live streams on Instagram and such, you probably know that we've moved recently. Well, not that recent anymore. It's already been about a month. Yeah, and we really enjoy our new house, by the way. We love where we live right now. The location is so much better than the previous house. And our new home is like, I don't know how many times bigger, maybe like 2.5 or 3 times bigger than our previous house. And everything, where each room is and how we can, work in this area, play with the kids in this area. It's all completely divided and separated. And every time Harumi and I work, for example, we have our personal working area inside the house now, which we originally used to work at the dining table. Yeah, so where we had our computers and where we ate our meals, like I don't know, lunch or dinner, things like that, were the same table. Yeah, so it was really difficult for us to concentrate. But just a month back, we were finally able to get this new house. And we really appreciate how much this house is such a beautiful place. But there was one experience after moving to this new house. There was one experience that really made me feel oh yeah, that's right, I was living in Kyoto. So it's a short episode. What happened is one morning when we were at home, I think we were doing some kind of training of was kimono dressing or something or training at home, and Tomoko was actually at our home too. But anyways, there was this woman, old lady, that came to our house, ringing our doorbell hundreds of times, and we opened the door. We were like, "Hi, who are you?" And then the first thing she said was, well, basically she started yelling at her first voice, and what she said was, where did you leave your common sense, kind of thing? Where is your common sense? Like, do you young people like you do you guys not learn anything anymore? Like, why have you not come to our house to say your greetings? Like, how are we supposed to know who the heck you are? How are we supposed to live safely without knowing who you are? You need to immediately come and do your greetings to the Chonaikai. There's something called neighborhood association, where basically each parts of the cities are like separated into districts, kind of thing, right? So there's these small neighborhood associations, usually from about, I don't know, 20 to 30 houses. Yeah, and basically she just yelled at us for about 5 minutes, and then she left. And Harumi and I were both there. I was really glad I was able to be there for her, by the way, when she was getting yelled, because probably with 2 people or just 1 woman would probably be different. So anyways, so she was yelling at us. And basically in Japan, there are rules when you move to a new place, because Japan is not such, what should I say? The places where we live are quite dense, quite populated. Usually when you live in one house, if you're not living in a really countryside area, if you're living in a city, if you have one house, you usually have neighbors right next to you. So like right now I can see outside my window and I see my neighbor houses, like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can see all my neighbors outside there. So basically it's a rule to go say your greetings. Now that is true, of course. That's what we did, by the way. We did it, by the way. We usually say you should say your greetings to 2 houses on your left, 2 houses on your right, and if there is a house that's nearby across the street, you should go and say your greetings too. Yeah, so that's exactly what we did. But the problem is, this lady did not tell us who she is and where exactly she lives, because by typical rules, that's again, 2 houses on the left, 2 houses on the right is the basic rules. Like that's like what you look, for example, if you look up on the internet and say what are common rules for greetings when you move, that's what's written in most all of the articles. Yeah. So she didn't even tell us where she is or which neighborhood association it actually belongs to, or even her name. So we were like, we're very sorry. And then she just left. But anyways, what I'm trying to say here is, I often talk about in my videos how Japanese people really cherish communities. You might have heard of this before too, you know, the collectivist society and everything too. And especially in Kyoto, you know, the relationships between people are really, really important. And I was, because, you know, again, Tomoko was there when she came. She was like she was like, oh, that sounds a lot like Kyoto. Because Tomoko has lived in Osaka ever since she entered university. So right before she moved to Kyoto, she was living in Osaka too, by the way. So for a pretty long time, maybe 7-8 years, she lived in Osaka. And Osaka usually doesn't have these kind of rules. Kyoto is more strict, yeah. And another thing, if you live in an apartment, I think people, of course, come and go, right? Yeah, people don't live in an apartment for like forever, basically. So they tend to move in and then move out at the timing, maybe once they change their jobs or graduate from universities. If it's like a really, really big mansion that people share together, some people buy a room in a mansion, but Japanese mansion, not the that mansion when you imagine in English. But anyways, regular apartments it's probably the same around the world. People come and go, right? So it's not that strict. But for houses like independent houses, that are not part of an apartment, they because people tend to live there forever, like for example their houses have been carried on from their parents' generations or stuff like that, their bond, their relationships with the neighbors are really, really strong, and it's important that the neighborhood is together and as one kind of thing. Although of course not every independent house like the one that we live in now, it doesn't mean that we'll be living here forever. We're renting this house, right? And the old lady that came probably has been living in the neighborhood forever, and she will probably live here until she dies, and that's good for her. But we don't know your local rules, right? We just moved in, and the thing I wanted to say was that, like, why couldn't you just come and tell us? Like she could have just told us, like, my name is blah blah blah, and it lived, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 houses to the right or to the left of your house. Here in this city, it's a rule that you should go and say hi to all of the houses in the neighborhood association or something like that. I don't know if that kind of rule exists, because that's a lot of houses that you need to go and say your greetings to. 20, 30 again, as I said earlier. I don't know what she wanted to do, but she just came and yelled at us for a pretty long time, for a couple of minutes actually. It was really, really long. And I just couldn't believe why you can be so angry from the first moment. But I just wanted to share this episode with you guys, just to tell you how, I don't know if this kind of thing happens anywhere outside of Japan. Someone capable of being pissed and angry that someone didn't come to say their greetings after they moved to a new house. Now, as I said earlier, we did say our greetings to 2 houses on the left, 2 houses on the right? So basically, I don't know where she lived, and we tried to go to 2 more houses on the left and right, by the way, and we didn't meet the old lady again. And she never came back, so I don't know if she was satisfied or if she wasn't, but I just wanted to share this episode with you that this kind of stuff happens in Japan. And to be honest, I don't think this is such a rare experience, though, to be honest. Yeah. I think if you look up on the internet about these such similar experiences, maybe on social media or something, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who experienced this before, being yelled at by the elderly because they didn't say their greetings properly or something like that. Yeah, but the thing is, again, I'm saying the same thing over and over, I'm sorry, but I really want to ask, why couldn't you teach the young then, if you think so? Because I have lived in an apartment my whole life ever since I left my parents' house, 18 years old. For 10 years, I lived in an apartment, and this is the first time I was able to finally afford an independent house. Still renting it, of course, and I don't know the rules of neighborhood associations because apartments don't belong to those. Yeah, because again, people come and go, so they don't belong to neighborhood associations. But independent houses do, and we don't know about it. Of course, I did research the information. Of course, I didn't want to be rude to anyone, especially because we'll be filming videos. Sometimes we might be a little bit loud. We'll be playing the instruments. We might be a little bit loud, I don't want to be rude to anyone, so I went to say my greetings after doing some research on the internet. If there's something you're dissatisfied about, why don't you just go and teach them calmly? Why is the first thing you say is yelling and screaming at this person who just came moving into your neighborhood? Like, what good is that gonna bring you or anyone, right? So, but it's something that tends to happen, and it's something that my mother used to say to me too, which I hated so much. I'm so sorry. Why am I angry recently in my podcast? Just by coincidence, guys. I'm so sorry, but I did want to share this experience with you because I know if you're ever hoping to come to Japan to live or to work or study or something, this might come in handy. This information might come in handy, so I still wanted to share with you. But anyways, I hated when my mother always said that is normal. That's what you're supposed to do. Like, how am I supposed to know what I'm supposed to do when no one has taught me yet, right? So I was like, yes, ever since I was growing up as a child too, because my mother was from Kyoto too, right? So I just really, really did not like people telling me this. And I was really, really sad and a little bit frustrated that I had to experience this growing up too. So then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. It's a little bit funny to say after saying so many stuff I was angry about, but yeah. So I know that there's a lot of people outside of Japan studying Japanese and willing to come to Japan to travel, study, and work and such, and even train in our traditional culture. However, I'm very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we are losing a lot of our traditional culture, we are facing a lot of social problems, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I want to dedicate my life to try to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and also evolve traditional culture, and try to help out the younger generations who are probably having a very hard time in Japan right now, just like I am, try to help them out so they have a brighter future. Yep. And to do that, my first step is to achieve 1 million subscribers by January 2023 on my main channel. So all your likes and comments will help to boost my videos to new viewers who have never seen my videos before. It'd be great if you could help me out. And by the way, at the point I'm recording this podcast, we actually have less than 5,000 subscribers to go. So to be honest, the countdown live stream might be tomorrow morning or possibly tonight even. So we are very, very excited. I'm really hoping to talk to you and see you there. Yeah. And everyone, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast too. Goodbye.